Welcome to Inside OSU Athletics, and our guest is Dave Smith. And Coach, it is a pleasure to have you with us here on the show.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Man, it's hard to believe. All right, so I want to talk about the season, obviously, but I started looking at a few numbers, and right, it's too early to reflect. You're too young to reflect on your career. But, Coach, 20th year, I think, if I did the math right, as the head coach of the men's cross country. We added track and field after that. Added women's cross country and track and field after that, and that's longer than I remember, because I remember when that happened. But you've seen a couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I got here. In fact, I was filling out something for the Big 12 recently when they wanted to know how many years I've been in the Big 12. And before I came here, I was at 4 years at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So I've been in the Big 12 for 28 of the 30 years of its existence. So it's been a while.
That is amazing. It really is. 4-time Coach of the Year. Mm-hmm. I don't know, countless Big 12 Coach of the Year awards. I mean, it's, and I know this is awkward, right, for you to talk about how good the career has been, but it's been a really good career.
It has, but those coaching awards, they're just team awards. It's the winning coach gets the award typically, and I think that's happened almost every single year, that whoever wins the championship gets the Coach of the Year award. So it's really a reflection of team titles, and it's just a duplication of the team trophy.
Well, and obviously that means that there has been lots of team success. 12-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, 12 individual national championships, 173 All-Americans, and 145 Big 12 individual championships. I mean, when you start looking at those numbers, it just reflects how good this program has been for a really long time.
Yeah, we've been real fortunate. We've gotten some obviously some great athletes who've done great things for us, and I think we've got a team culture and an expectation of excellence here. And I think these days when kids come here, they just expect that winning is what we do, and winning titles and going on to Olympic Games and World Championships and those kinds of things. That's just what we do.
You have only had 4 Big 12 Freshmen of the Year. 4. Again, of course, if my studying is correct. What's interesting to me about that is it means a couple of things, and maybe you could tell me really what it does mean, is that kids come here and develop and flourish and do all those other things in their latter years, or there obviously could be some transfers in that group as well. But, Coach, that means that a lot of kids came here with, maybe they were talented, very talented, but they really flourished in their juniors and their senior seasons. They didn't come here with all the necessary tools initially.
I think that's definitely true. I think part of that's a little deceiving. The award used to be called the Newcomer of the Year award in cross country, and so we had a few of those that weren't necessarily freshmen. We had a few who were freshmen that got that award, but it changed to a Freshman of the Year, 10 years ago or so. Maybe 12, I don't remember. But we've had a few, but you're right. Especially I think on the men to begin with, but more recently the women. We've had a lot of women come in here that, we kind of we start with the very best kids in the country and we recruit those kids, but you keep moving down until you find someone who'll say yes. Mm-hmm. And so, as you're building a program, you got to keep moving down a ways before you find kids that are willing to come. And some of those, when they get here, it takes them a year or 2 or 3 or even 4 before they really get rolling at the all-conference or all-American level.
Well, and as a coach, again, I would think that would be extremely gratifying, right? I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to take the best kids and still win. Sometimes the best kids don't perform at that level. Yeah. Maybe they didn't come in at that level. But a kid comes here, is tuned in, is coachable, believes in what you guys are selling, and then it builds into all those championships. I mean, I know it's too early to reflect on your career, but as I saw that number, I went, man, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think, and you just described what really, at least in our sport, is the best part about coaching. It is so objective and it's so measured. You can see year by year what the progress is or what the development is, and whether it be places that it meets or times they've run, it's very objective. And so when you can follow the progress of kids who come in and just climb the ladder every year, and you get kids like an Isai Rodriguez or a Taylor Rowe or Alex Mayer who come in and have to kind of go through the grind for a year or two, and then they catch their stride and things get going really well. That's the most gratifying, fun part about it. You get kids with these big dreamers who, when they set out to do the things they do, it seems crazy. You're not that level, you're not that talent, you're not going to do those things. And then when they believe in themselves and they put all their chips in the pot and say, deal the cards, and it pans out, it's a really rewarding thing as a coach to be a part of that.
Well, and it's obviously happened numerous times, which is outstanding. All right, so let's talk about something else. One of the things I think it's funny when something really good happens and then a few years go by, we kind of forget about how great it is. I know you guys haven't, but outside, the Greiner family OSU cross-country course. I've heard this said about 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks, maybe because of the season, we're embarking upon the season. It's the greatest course in the country. And I think we hear that. We saw it. It was showcased in the national championship, and then you kind of forget.
Yeah.
And then the season rolls around, you go, yeah, you know what, we can't forget just how great that facility really is.
Yeah, I think, just big thank you to the Greiner family and to Coach Holder for the vision to do this. But I go a step further, and I'm not one for hyperbole, but I think it's the greatest course in the world. And I have been all over the world. I've been to world championships many, many, many times. There's not a course out there like this. Now, there are some imitators popping up around the country. There's some other universities that are starting to invest and do the things we've done. But even they are not to the level that this one is. And I still think with its proximity to campus, it is on campus. And the amount of land, the space it takes up, and the width, the irrigation, everything, there isn't another course like this anywhere in the world.
Which is amazing. It really is, and it's awesome that you guys are actually, we're going to talk about it, but you've got some events coming up very soon, but you guys are going to be hosting the regional this year on that course.
Yeah, we have had a championship level meet on it almost every year, whether it be the Big 12 championships, the NCAA regional championships, or the national championships. And we're in another string. We've got the regional championships this year, the conference championships next year, and the national championships in 2027.
Wow.
So another string of 3 championship years in a row. So yeah, it's I think it's recognized at the conference level, at the NCAA level, at the national championship level as being one of the greatest courses in the country, and people want to utilize it. So good for us.
Well, and one of the greatest continuous events that's ever happened is the Cowboy Jamboree. And I know we had the little hiccup right with COVID and maybe here or there, but this has been one of the most outstanding events, non-championship events, I think, that's available. It's coming up later in September, right? And that kind of kicks off the official part of the season, and that'll happen right here.
Yeah, we've got a great field assembled. Ourselves, New Mexico, we're ranked number 3 in the country on the men. New Mexico's ranked number 2. They will be here. Oregon, I think, is ranked 9. They will be here. OU is in the top 30. Tulsa's in the top 30. Both those teams will be here. On the women's side, BYU is ranked 2. They will be here. Our women are ranked 13th. I think SMU is a very good team in the region. It's going to be a great. Oh, New Mexico also, who's ranked in the top 5 for the women, will be here. So it's a great field on both sides. Okay,
with that, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach about his roster and the expectations for the season as we continue with Inside OSU Athletics. Welcome back to our first installment of Inside OSU Athletics. Casey Kendrick along with Coach Dave Smith. And Coach, talk about the roster. You don't get a preseason number 3, preseason number 13, unless you have a very talented group of young men and women that have a lot of high expectations going into the season.
Yeah, our men's team is really 7 veterans, each of whom has run at an All-American level at some point in their career. They're all coming back for 3rd, 4th, or 5th years, 6 years on a couple cases. They got a couple COVID guys still hanging around, Ryan Shoppy and Will Muirhead, who are a big part of our program. And then we've got a group of younger guys we brought in over the last 2 or 3 years. We've said, hey, you're going to come in behind this group, and you're going to get the luxury of developing behind them. We don't have to rush things. But by the time in your 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, we're going to count on you. And so some of those young guys are now starting to emerge and kind of break through the ranks of that top 7. And so we've got a really competitive men's team, excited about it. On the women's side, we've got Bila Jepkarui, who was off for a year but is back. She's an All-American NCAA runner-up in track. She was an All-American in cross country. Been a big part of our program, a Big 12 champion. She leads us. And then we've got a whole bunch of young women that kind of just did what I described the men doing, but they are now, it's their turn. They're ready to go. And I think our women are probably better than we're ranked. I think the men, that's fair. I think 3rd is a fair ranking, but I think the women, in my coach's glasses, I think we're better than 13.
But Coach, let's bring this full circle. going back to the fact that you've had these, not necessarily these freshmen of the year, newcomers of the year necessarily, because a lot of them aren't performing because they're sitting behind. In today's athletic world, that's not normal. No. It's, if I'm not running now, I'm going to go where I can.
Yep.
So it speaks to the health of the culture that you go, okay, I'm going to pay my dues.
Yep.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to learn, and then when it's my turn, I'm going to be ready. That speaks volumes of the program, of you guys, the staff, the kids. The whole process is obviously very healthy.
Yeah, I think, again, it takes the right kind of kid. Some kids, we told this story to 2 or 3 years ago, they said, no way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come there and sit and wait.
Sure.
But the ones we said, this is a benefit. You get to come in and we get to take our time and develop you in a way that makes sense for your long-term careers and beyond OSU, what you're going to do as a professional athlete.
Right.
If we can do it right, you're going to have a long career. But if we have to, kind of take shortcuts and get you ready in a hurry, if we're counting on you today, your career could very easily be kind of stunted a little bit. So we got the right guys. We found the right ones that said, hey, that sounds great to me, and I'm willing to be in the shadows a little bit for a little while, but I'm coming. And so, yeah, I think we got the right kind of guys.
And you've got the first event coming up, only 3 events. Then we get ready for Big 12s in Lawrence. You guys are hosting regionals, and then getting ready for the national championship. So the season is here. It's obviously an exciting time.
Yeah, I love this time of year. It's a little bit of hurry up and wait. Like you said, we're training. We get a race at the Jamboree, then we go back to training for 3 weeks, and we get another little race. And you don't really get going until the end of October at the conference meet when it really starts to matter. And then it's over quickly. It's conference 2 weeks later, regionals a week later, nationals, and it's done. And it feels like we spend from June until the end of October getting ready, and it happens in 3 weeks and it's done. So, yeah.
Obviously, exciting time, though. Coach, congratulations on the preseason rankings, the expectations, and good luck with the season.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. I want to say thanks to Coach Dave Smith. We want to say thanks to you guys for tuning in as well. We'll see you next time on Inside OSU Athletics.